My name is Abe Princey. I'm the head of function for the brand Decent Property. Decent Property is a brand that's operating both in the United Kingdom and also Nigeria. We help you look for high potential property investment in the UK. Our website you can find us is www.decentproperties.com. So when you go to our website, you can also read to understand everything we do, and don't forget to connect with us on our socials. We'd love to connect with you so you see what we do and some of the case studies that we release. We specialize in deal sourcing and also using the BRRO system to create wealth. What do I mean by the BRRO system? Buy, refurbish, rent, remortgage, and what? Repeat the same process. That's using one particular money to buy a property. That property generates your cash flow. Pull out all the money you have invested in this property and then use that money to what? To rebuy again. The major objective of our brand is to help us and also you that will be either interested in joining us to JV or come to us for us to source property for you to build generational wealth. I'll be looking forward to connecting with you personally so we could talk about real estate. You could also connect with me on Facebook if you want to connect with me personally. My name on Facebook is Abe Princey, Decent Abe on IG, that's the Instagram. I'm also using Decent Abe on TikTok, and then you can also connect with me professionally on LinkedIn, Princey Abe. I'll be looking forward to connecting with you. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about what I mean by the BRRO process, which is what we specialize in and how we can also help you build generational wealth using the BRRO process. But then, before we go further, that why should anybody invest in the UK real estate market? The first thing is when you want to invest in the UK real estate market, everything is very transparent. From the point where you know the price, what you are going to buy for this property, then you have, yes, we have got so many legal fee, stamp duty, valuation, and everything. These things are all transparent process. And then there's a proper legal framework when it comes to the UK property investment, whereby you don't buy a property today and then tomorrow somebody comes to claim this property. If you buy the property, there's a due process, and whatever purchase you are going to buy, you buy through the solicitor. You don't give money to an individual because you have to buy through a solicitor in the UK, where they have to vet and also make sure that this money that you want to use in buying this property, you do what we call the proof of fund. Basically, you do proof of fund, and with us, we guide you through all the process. In the UK today, out of every 100 persons you see, about 16 persons are either homeless. Why are they homeless? Either because they cannot afford the cost of rent at the moment, and there's high demand. There's a massive inflow into the UK system. So people are coming in for schools, professionals are diving into the country because of the stable economy, and then this has also created a strong demand for rent. You see, so if you buy a property, there's a possibility that once you get this property, do it nicely, you can either use this property, set it up as a service accommodation. What do I mean by service? I mean where you rent on a nightly basis, or you use this property as a HMO, which what I mean by HMO has multiple occupancy where you rent on a room by room basis, or you use this property to rent to a family. But the fact remains that there's a strong rental demand for properties across the UK. And then another reason why anybody wants to invest in the UK, this is the most amazing part, the most phenomenal part, and that is why I am diving into this angle, and that's why I'm very passionate about it, which is capital appreciation. There is a statistic that analyzes around across the west and the north. For every year, there is 5 to 8% increment in value of your property. Let me break it down. Let's say, for instance, you bought a property today for £100,000. This is the value of what you bought the property today. In 1 to 2 years' time, this £100,000, you have an equity. Let's say, for instance, you have an equity of 25,000 in this property. Now that's your 25, but this property is generating you maybe £400 on a monthly basis. While you're getting this cash flow, in 1 year time, this your 100,000, because the value of the property is going to appreciate. Now when you appreciate, let's say by 5%, now what you now have is the value of this property now increase from 100,000 to 105,000 pounds. Now your equity in this property now is going to be, let's say for instance, is 25%. 25% of 105,000 is going to be 26,250. So in 1 year, well, even if the house is generating you £400 cash net income, which I'm going to be explaining in my next video when I talk about the BRRO strategy, you still get to have 26,500 capital secure in this property. Capital appreciation. Then should I talk about the forex exchange? Now, for those of us that come from the part of the country where I'm coming from, like Nigeria, for instance, now let's say as at 2022, £1 was worth around 700 naira. That's the case. And then you invested £25,000 in UK real estate. So this £25,000 should be around 70 million. Somewhere around 2022. As of today, if you have invested in 2022 in the UK real estate market, with this your 17,500,000, as of today, this money will be worth £1 today is worth over 2,100. This is, we're talking about 52,500,000 naira. This is your capital what? Appreciation. Remember that this house that you must have invested could have possibly be generating you an average of 200 to 250 pounds monthly income. Now, in my next video, I'm going to be describing what I mean by the BRRO strategy and then the potential earnings and how you can use the BRRO strategy to generate generational wealth for yourself, for your children, and your children's children.